What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Mac Wright, and today we're going to talk about the dumbest exercises that I think everybody should know. Now, they're dumb because they take a little bit out of you to learn, and sometimes they take a little bit out of you to do, but the results that they yield are incredible. They're things that I put my faith in constantly. Whenever I show up to a gig, if I haven't had the opportunity to warm up that day or play that day, or if I, am at a recording session and I need to get the gunk out of my fingers and get my joints moving, this is what I do. And I think everybody should know them. In addition to helping me warm up and feel great about my playing abilities, they also force you to learn some things that maybe you haven't quite thought of. And the idea behind any sort of exercise or etude or things that we do to help us get better at guitar that may seem trivial is that when we see those things, those types of techniques pop up in a song, that we already know how to do them, right? They're not new to us. We're not learning it because the song tells us to learn it. We've already learned it because we've practiced the technique and we know it inside and out. So without further ado, here are the 3 exercises that I believe every guitarist should learn. The first exercise is what I call the inchworm. Now, I know some other people call it the spider, or other people have a different names for it. I've heard 1,001 names for it. I just call it the inchworm. I don't know. It's kind of cute, right? But all it is taking your first through fourth fingers and lining them up with your first through fourth frets and moving across the strings in an upward motion, right? So that would be the first, second, third, fourth fret, first, second, third, fourth fret, first, second, third, fourth fret, and so on and so forth. Then after we get up to our first string, we move up to the 5th fret and we go 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, down towards our 6th string. Then we reverse our fingers. 8, 7, 6, 5, 8, 7, 6, 5, 8, 7, 6, 5, 8, 7, 6, 5, 8, 7, 6, 5, 8, 7, 6, 5. And then we move back down to our first through fourth frets and we go 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way back down to our 6th string. Now, the reason we do this, and again, it's about doing weird things that we may not be used to, is that it forces us to go up the frets, up the strings, up the frets, down the strings, down the frets, up the strings, and then down the frets, down the strings. And it should look something like this. Now, again, might seem simple. For those of you that it may not seem so simple, start at a slower tempo. It's always better to learn slow than to learn fast. All right, you will be way more accurate if you start slow. Now, why, if I can play that nice and easily, should I keep practicing it? Well, it provides a ton of benefits for you. It helps line up your right hand with your left hand with your brain. And in addition to that, you can use it to practice various techniques. So for instance, if I have a song that has a ton of hammer-ons and pull-offs and I need to work on them on each of my fingers, I would want to take that exercise and do it with all hammer-ons and pull-offs like so. And of course, reverse it on the way back down, right? Make it all pull-offs. You can do it to focus on different styles of picking, whether that be alternate picking if that's something you're struggling with if you're starting out, or if you're trying to get better at flat picking, you can do a nice little, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, get that little train track motion rolling. There's tons and tons and tons of ways that you can modify this exercise to make it so that it can be your own, so you can work on the things that are challenging you. Another one that I recommend doing is to take the names of your fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and put that in a random order, like 3, 1, 2, 4, and then go through the exercise in that order, like so. Right? Go through it all, pick a different one on the way back down. It's all about forcing your fingers to do weird things so that when you see it in a song or in a solo, you've already got it. With all that in mind, let's go ahead and look at the next exercise. Now, this exercise requires you to have a little bit of background in just your basic scale. You can use whatever scale you want, if it's the Berkeley style or what have you. Feel free to use whatever one is most comfortable with you, and probably the ones that aren't comfortable for you as well. But what you're going to do is you're going to take the scale, your typical major scale, let's say, and you're going to put it in thirds. And what I mean by that is you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, and so on and so forth, right? The idea is that when you do this, you're moving the scale up 1 degree at a time, but you're adding on 2 more notes to it, right? So 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. The reason why this is an important distinction to make is because when you head back down, instead of what most people would normally do, where they would go, 8, 7, 6, 7, 6, 5, 6, 5, 4, we're instead going to go 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7. It's all going to sound like this. Then you can feel free to take that and move it the opposite direction, right? So we're going to ascend the scale, but put 2 notes behind it. And then we'll descend the scale with 2 notes behind it, right? So that would be like a 2, 1, 7, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 5, 4, 3. And then on the way back down, 7, 6, 5, 6, 5, 4, so on and so forth. It sounds like this. Again, you can do this in thirds, you can do it in fourths, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, so on and so forth. You can do it in fifths, sixths, whatever you want. You can do it in whatever variation you can think of, and I recommend doing it in whatever variation you can think of. It's going to help you, I promise. This, of course, brings us to our final exercise, which is skips. Now, we do these skips in thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths, whatever. But the idea is that we're taking whatever scale we're working on. Today, we'll be talking about the major scale. And you're going to be ascending and descending the scale, but you're going to be adding a third away from the note that you're on. So if you start with 1 and you're wanting to skip in thirds, you're going to go 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, 4, 6, and so on and so forth. On the way back down, 7, 9, 6, 8, 5, 7, 4, 6, so on and so forth. Sounds a little something like this. Then also we want to go ascending and descending, but moving down in thirds. So that would look something like 2, 7, 3, 1, 4, 2, 5, 3. It'll sound a little something like this. These are things that, again, just make you feel good, right? They force you out of your comfort zone. They force you to do things that you're not used to, and they're great so that you can use them when they pop up in a solo or in a song that you're working on. The last little bonus one is that you can combine the last two exercises. So for instance, you can move up in thirds but add a skip to the sixth. Sounds a little something like this. Now, that's something that may not necessarily be used very often, if ever. I used it in one solo, but it was literally just because I wanted to see if I could do it. But again, it's all about tricking your brain, getting out of that comfort zone, expanding what you feel like your fingers can do, because then the things that are simple will feel so much more fluid and will come out as just normal language for you. So, with all this in mind, feel free to let me know if you have any exercises that you swear by. Put them down in the comments below. Let me know if you disagree with any of these. I'd love to hear that too. If you like what you're seeing, feel free to like, subscribe, follow along, and we'll see you around.